Hello all, how are you? Hope everything is fine. Hopefully you're enjoying Ramadan and fasting. Okay, now I'm gonna just have a quick revision, a recap of everything we have taken in the previous classes. Now we stopped at water pollution. We talked about the importance of water on Earth and how it makes up more than 70% of our planet Earth. We talked about the importance of the habitat of seas, rivers for many species since a lot of animals or sea animals live there, right? Also, we said that human beings need water in different, let's say, ways in life, like in cooking, drinking, industry, construction, agriculture. So, water is very important on Earth, okay? But the problem is that water sometimes becomes polluted because of human beings. How does that happen? First, we said large amounts of chemical and impure substances are added to this pure water that God created. And we talked about the sources of water pollution, and we said one of them is farming. Okay, another source is raising livestock and poultry, which are animals. Okay, and farming, although it's healthy and good and releases oxygen, but the problem when people use fertilizers and pesticides. And we said the fertilizers, they help the plants to grow better, but the problem is the soil sometimes taking them down to the groundwater, and the groundwater becomes polluted with these fertilizers. Pesticides, they are, let's say, chemicals to kill insects that they try to attack the crops and the plants. Okay, so fertilizers and pesticides in farming may pollute both the surface water and the groundwater. Okay, so when they just spray them on the plants, sometimes the surface water gets polluted, and sometimes, of course, it's absorbed down till to the groundwater. Another source was the discharge of the sewage and the chemical waste into rivers and seas. Now, many factories, as we see here in the picture, many factories, they just discharge their sewage without even treating them directly and their chemical waste directly into rivers and seas nearby. Okay, some countries also, we said, they do not have sewage treatment plants. And we said the sewage treatment plant usually is a big system or process that the sewage water for this facility goes through until they clean it, they filter it a little bit, then they release it into rivers and lakes or seas. Okay? And we completed talking about also sources of water pollution, and the worst we said is the ocean, is the oil. The worst pollutant of seas and oceans is oil. How do we spell oil in it? We said that millions of gallons of oil are spilled into seas as a result of shipping accidents. So, by accident, sometimes the ships spill some oil, sometimes the whole, let's say, tanker is carrying oil and then it sinks in the ocean or the sea and it causes this disaster. Okay. And then we said that one of the worst oil spill accidents, and I have showed you a video and I attached it also with the previous lesson. One of the worst oil spill accidents was in Spain, okay? And we saw how it started in Spain, but it reached also the beaches and the shores of France. Imagine how big it was. So it occurred when, it means it happened when an oil tanker was hit by a storm and sank in the Atlantic Ocean near the coast of Spain in November 2002. And they still actually suffering from this accident, as we saw in the video. Okay, and they predicted that the marine life will be affected for the following at least 10 years, but actually we've been like 20 years and we're still suffering from it. Okay, so these are the sources of water pollution, how water gets polluted. And of course, some people throw garbage, as we saw also in the videos. Some people, they just don't care. Whenever they finish eating, they finish something they have like a can, wherever they just throw it into the water. So this is also another source of water pollution. Okay, now in this lesson, we're trying to find ways to decrease, to make water pollution less. How can we decrease water pollution? Okay, we have four main points and they're all related, or let's say most of them are related. Most of them are related to the sources of water pollution. Okay, so the first one, checking oil tankers regularly. Now we said a lot of tankers that they carry oil, they have accidents, something bad happens to them in the sea or in the ocean, and then they spill all the oil that they have. So checking oil tankers regularly is very important to check their engines, to check their, let's say, efficiency to carry all these things. Are they efficient enough, or they're gonna make a disaster? Okay, so this is the first one, checking oil tankers regularly. Number two, treating waste from factories before dumping it into rivers and lakes. Now we said that some factories they have this treatment system, others they don't. So they just dump it as it is in rivers and waters with the chemicals waste, with all the dirt in it. Now you can see here, this is what we call a sewage treatment plant. So you need to treat. Treat means to go through a process. This sewage water must go through a process to clean it, to filter it, and so on. You see here, it starts like this, and then it ends up like this. Okay, after this process. So treating waste that comes from factories is very important before dumping it into rivers and lakes to have the least, let's say, bad substances, chemicals, and dirt. Number three, providing proper sewage treatment facilities. Providing the proper sewage treatment facilities is very important in order to be able to treat this waste. How I'm going to treat waste if I don't have a proper sewage treatment facility? So I must have a proper sewage treatment facility in my factory in order to treat this waste. Okay, so providing proper sewage treatment facilities also is another point. The last one, number four, controlling the amount of fertilizers. Remember when we said in farming, it's a problem to use a lot of fertilizers because the soil absorbs it and then it goes to the groundwater and the groundwater gets affected. Plus, when you spray a lot of fertilizers or pesticides, also the surface water gets affected. Okay, so controlling the amount only has to serve the plants. It has to be absorbed totally by the plants, not to have extra that the soil or the water could absorb. Okay, so controlling the amount of fertilizers so that it would be all absorbed instead of being carried by rainwater and deposited into surface waters. So by controlling the amount of fertilizers, all of them will be absorbed. Okay, all of them will be gone. Okay, there is no more to be carried by the rainwater. The rainwater comes, okay, and it takes all the dirt, all the leaves, fertilizers, everything. It carries it with it, and then it puts it. This is the meaning of deposited. It puts it where? Into surface waters, and of course, from the surface water, it goes down to the groundwater. Okay, so we have only here four ways of decreasing water pollution, but of course, we still have more. But here, the book just mentioned for you four. So I'm going to attach with this video a YouTube video I would like you to watch after you finish this. It's all about water pollution and ways of decreasing water pollution. Okay, so checking oil tankers regularly to maintain good and secure and efficient, of course. Treating the waste from factories before dumping it into rivers and lakes. Number three, providing proper sewage treatment facilities. Okay, the sewage must be, or the sewage treatment must be proper and good. Number four, and the last one, controlling the amount of fertilizers Why should I use a controlled amount? So they'll all be observed. Nothing is left to be carried by rainwater and then put into surface water that we already drink or we use in different ways in our lives. Okay, that's it for today. This is the whole lesson. Now, what I'm gonna need you to do is to watch the video after this. I have attached it with the lesson. Okay, and the homework will be page 68, question number 3, mentioned the 4 ways that we already have in the book of decreasing water pollution. If you have other ways, other, let's say, helpful ways you have seen in the video or you know about them, you can mention them instead the ones of the book. Okay, because we already have the ones in the book. You could have another 4. Okay, like not dropping or dumping our waste into the water, like for example, do not clean your clothes or your let's say cooking stuff inside the water. So wherever, from the videos that you have watched or the video you're going to watch after this. Okay, that's it for today. Have a great day today. افطارا شهيا وصوما مقبولا ان شاء الله. Miss you all. Have a great day.